All right, at the back of all that politics, the questions that we're asking this evening, Congress's charges justified or frivolous, viewers? Is this playing into Pakistan agenda, or is the opposition entitled to ask the questions it's asking? On the other hand, should the government clear the air on certain key questions that the Congress continues to pose? On the other hand, why so much skepticism about the Operation Sindoor and government's intent coming in from the principal opposition party? And ultimately, while we are putting out a united global diplomatic offensive domestically, who is winning the Operation Sindoor narrative? Let's take all these questions to our panelists this evening. Joining me, Rajat Sethi, political commentator. He's going to be with us in just a short while. Ashutosh, author, political analyst. Mahima Singh, national spokesperson, Congress. Gopal Krishna Agrawal, national spokesperson, BJP. You know, Gopal Krishna Agrawal, I'll come back to this one question that we've been asking in the last couple of days. It is the job of the principal opposition party to ask key pertinent questions of the government. It's doing exactly that. What's the big deal? And why can't the government really come clean and answer these questions instead of getting into rhetoric?
So we have to understand, Preeti ji, that opposition has every right to ask questions to the government. But once there is a reply on that questions, they should accept. The problem with the leading opposition party and their leaders is they are not accepting the answers which are being given to by the authorities, by the even foreign secretary has given and government sources. PIB has also given clarification that when again and again Rahul Gandhi ji is saying that as Jaishankar ji has preempted and given information to Pak, but there has been clarification that it was post the terrorist hideouts were attacked. It was after that that information was conveyed that we have not attacked the military installation, we have not attacked the civilian, but they are not accepting. The issue is they are not accepting. The army has, Air Force has clarified about the fighter planes, their decision, where the attacks has been taken. The issue is primarily this, that they are not accepting the answer about even this US president about that this is a bilateral discussion and we have decided between ourselves with Pakistan, it was initiated by Pakistan that the ceasefire should be there and India accepted it. But still they are saying they are accepting what Trump had said once. He has also clarified that I am not negotiated. But again, they are going to say the same question. So in case of Trump, ceasefire issue, in case of foreign ministry, in case of fighter jets and other things also they are questioning and again. So the thing is, what is their intention for not accepting the answers is the real question that we want to ask.
Okay, so your time is up. I'll come back to you for the next set of questions. I want to bring in Mahima Singh from the Congress on this. Mahima Singh, your counterpart there, the BJP spokesperson, making it very clear that the Congress really is not looking at answers. They just want to whip up the rhetoric again and again because the answers have been delivered each time the Congress has asked them. You just don't want to accept it.
Jai Hind, Preeti, it is quite frivolous. You see how the BJP spokespersons speak and they only amplify what the Prime Minister is saying time and again. Yesterday, the Prime Minister went to Bikaner. Our simple question is, in these 30 days, has he not found the time to go to Kashmir, or is there not enough will to go to Kashmir and talk to the people there? We want to ask the Prime Minister and his
Sir, there's no point interrupting. We won't hear you. Go ahead, ma'am. Make your point.
And you see, we want to ask, President Trump has spoken 8 times. 8th time he spoke day before yesterday, and he said they are cracking a big deal with India. What is the cost of this Sindoor? Yesterday, hearing the Prime Minister's speech, Preeti, I was prompted to write these lines, and I must say it here. Modi के भाषण खोखले ही नहीं, बल्कि ओछेपन से लबरेज हैं. सीना ठोकते हैं मगर नहीं है. सेना का नाम, शहीदों का नाम, सुनी कोख का जिक्र, अनाथ हो गए बच्चों की फिक्र. ये भाषण, ये नमकीन भाषण, जख्मों को हरा करते भाषण, माथे के सिंदूर को वोट में सिकोड़ते, ये आदमखोर भाषण. Because you see, there is only one apparent beneficiary in this whole scenario. 30 days have passed. Why does he not mention the martyrs of the army? Why does he not mention the civilians who have been killed? Why does he not condemn the trolling of Himanshi Narwal or Vikram Mistry ji or his daughters, or for that matter his own minister speaking on Colonel Sophia Qureshi? He goes to Bikaner, doesn't go to Kashmir and says मेरे रगों में गरम सिंदूर दौड़ रहा है. That would be toxic for a matter of record, that would be really toxic. But when he is making such claims कि मेरी रगों में सिंदूर दौड़ रहा है, तो फिर आपका खून नहीं खौलता कि वो 4 आतंकवादी, where are those 4 perpetrators, the 4
Okay,
original?
ma'am, your time is up. I'll come back to you. I'll cut across to Ashutosh, but before that, I'll bring in Gopal Krishna Agarwal for a quick rebuttal, and then we'll go to Ashutosh. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, the fact is, there are certain questions that need to be answered which haven't been answered. Possibly there are certain questions, like you pointed out, that the Congress is now playing politics and is building on the rhetoric. The latest set of questions that Rahul Gandhi, the leader of opposition, has put up, and in return the Congress is actually calling him somebody who's fit for the highest award in Pakistan, Nishane-e-Pakistan. But the questions that ideally should be answered, Gopal Krishna. Number one, why has India been allowed to be hyphenated with Pakistan? Number two, why didn't a single country back in condemning Pakistan, though 3 countries have outrightly come out and backed India, which is Taiwan, Israel and Japan? And why have we asked Trump to mediate between India and Pakistan? There has been no clear answer to that till now, Gopal Agarwal. Because it might have come on day one by the spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs, but like the Congress is pointing out, if 8 interventions by the President of the United States of America has been made where he's practically stated he intervened, doesn't it warrant at least the External Affairs Minister to come out and give a befitting reply? Why are we soft-peddling it?
No, the government has clarified that there has been no intervention between a negotiation and intervention from the US president. He had been talking, and India had been talking, other countries had also been talking with India and Pakistan, but there is no intermediation that has been clarified. But if still the president says, we cannot just control what he says, we can only state the fact. The government has clarified that there has been no intervention. The initiation for the ceasefire was the requested from the hotline by Pakistan DGMO, and it was responded to by Indian DGMO. That is clear. What American president say, we have no control on that. Secondly, to clear the air about the global countries, about their confusion or their understanding between what India's attack was on Pakistan, how we dealt with anti-terror measures, etc. The government has sent all-party delegation to almost 58 countries. For this only, government has to clarify some of the countries which are not in line with our thinking. Therefore, outreach has been taken place. And secondly, third point is about the negotiation.
So there's a problem with your audio, Ashutosh. We're going to try and connect you in just a while. We can't really hear you. We're going to try and correct the audio of the BJP spokesperson. I want to bring in Ashutosh into this conversation. Ashutosh, we've debated this ad nauseum over the last couple of days, that there needs to be at least a red line which the opposition needs to, understand and honor. While this needs to be put in perspective, questions need to be and should be asked by the opposition. Some questions are outlandish.
See, Preeti, I think the government also needs a red line. Why I'm saying so? Because there's too much confusion around. Too much confusion. I was very patiently and very carefully listening to the Prime Minister's speech yesterday. And Prime Minister said, you know what? आतंक के आकाओं और आतंक की सरपरस्त सरकार में अब फर्क नहीं होता. See, the Prime Minister is saying आतंक के आकाओं में और आतंक की सरपरस्त सरकार में फर्क नहीं होता. तो फिर जयशंकर जी क्यों पाकिस्तान की फौज को बता रहे थे कि भाई हम आपके ऊपर हमला नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम आतंकवादियों पे हमला कर रहे हैं? There is this line doesn't go. There is a total disconnect with what the Prime Minister is saying and what the government did during the Operation Sindoor. I think that needs to be clarified. When we are making a distinction between the army and the terrorist organization, Pakistan did not make any distinction. Pakistan directly attacking our civilians. Pakistan was doing all kinds of nonsense things. And even the Pakistan had the guts to, and whatever say we may call it, when the DGMO, the ceasefire was announced, Pakistan broke the ceasefire and still was sending drone on us and going all kinds of golabari. Now the issue is, the government should come out clean on the fact that whether they still view that this is a war. Was it a war or not? You ask any BJP spokesman, they say, no, this is not a war. This is not a war. This is not a war. You ask, was there a ceasefire? No, this is not a ceasefire. This is not a ceasefire. This is an understanding. What I have heard, little bit of English, what I know is that the ceasefire is always done between the two enemies. And the understanding happens between the two friends. So, we should be very clear on this, and that is why there is so many questions. Mr. Donald Trump again has said that it is because of him when he was talking to Cyril Ramaphosa, the South African president. Again reiterated the same thing. It is because of him that Pakistan and India got together and ceasefire was announced. Now, why the Prime Minister is not saying? Why the Home Minister is not saying? Why the Defense Minister is not saying? And why the Foreign Minister is saying, Mr. Donald Trump, you need to shut up.
Okay.
Why?
I want to move to Mahima Singh, and I think we do have Rajat Sethi with us. But Mahima Singh, to bring you in, very quickly on that, the Congress has taken grave offence of Rahul Gandhi, the leader of opposition's picture, being juxtaposed with that of Asim Munir from Pakistan. Fair point. But having said that, in the same vein, the LOP, Mahima Singh, has called the External Affairs Minister, JJ, which is Jaichand Jaishankar. And, you're doing exactly what you are accusing Pakistan of doing. You really are accusing the External Affairs Minister, who could have worded his sentences better, and you're calling him Jaichand. We all know what the connotation of Jaichand is, Mahima.
Preeti, please read and analyze the statement given by the External Affairs Minister minutely. You see, what he says is at the start of, they can go on course correcting, damage controlling as much as they want to. But what he said was, at the start we informed. And at the end, he goes on to say, well, Pakistan did not take the good advice. Now, what do you read between these two lines? We gave advice, they did not take good advice. So we did what we have to. Now they can go on saying, well, we informed afterwards. No, they did not. And he said exactly what the truth was. Now, let me just ask the BJP spokesperson and let him answer. They are talking about Nishane Park today. We want to understand, we want to learn from them. And if they do not know, we want to remind them. Nishane Park was given to Morarji Desai, a BJP leader, a prime minister of a BJP coalition government. He was given Nishane Park. He was also, prosecuted in the US for diverging information. He was, we know all the accusations that have been there. And apart from that, Preeti, who went on to exonerate and appreciate Jinnah on his very land, on his very motherland? It was Mr. L.K. Advani, Mr. Murli Manohar Joshi. What is the BJP talking about today? Now, the BJP spokesperson was very, it is a mockery of the nation and those who were killed on the 22nd of April when he says, well, we cannot control Mr. Trump. He will go on to say, we know you cannot control Mr. Trump because he sent our brothers and sisters shackled, force-feeding them cow meat, and you could not do anything. The Prime Minister was there in America and US Army planes were landing in India one after the other. We do not know you can not do it. We do know because tomorrow Trump will come and say that he has acquired India. He will threaten the sovereignty of India. Is this what Modi government is going to say? Is this what they are going to say when tomorrow Trump goes on to make such bizarre statements as he's making right now?
Ma'am, your time is up. I want to bring in Rajat Sethi. Ma'am, your time is up. I'll come back to you later. I'll circle back. Rajat Sethi, I want to bring you into this conversation. One can very well say that the Congress is playing into Pakistan agenda, but the Congress in itself, Rajat Sethi, and it's a conversation we've had before, is doing the job of the opposition. There are certain questions it might be going overboard with, but there are certain questions which definitely need answers, especially where the intervention of Donald Trump is concerned. We've had, at best, the Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson or the Foreign Secretary come out 8 times if an intervention is made by the President of America stating that they intervene. Doesn't it warrant at least the External Affairs Minister to come out and make a strong counterpoint?
See, it's like, falling into those crosshairs.
There's a problem with
Trump.
Rajat Sethi's output. I'll go back right now to the BJP spokesperson. Mr. Krishna Gopal Krishna Agarwal, would you want to take the same question? Why should we be happy with the External Affairs Ministry spokesperson or the Foreign Secretary to come out and counter the President of America, who not once but now on multiple occasions has reiterated the same thing? Shouldn't it warrant a strong response by the Minister of External Affairs, sir?
Already our government has clarified that there is no intervention by any outside party other than it's a bilateral discussion and it's a bilateral decision. And our position vis-a-vis Pakistan is very clear that Kashmir and terrorism, Kashmir is a bilateral issue, and terrorism is the only point where we will talk to the Pakistan at this point of time. No intervention by third party is accepted and was done. It has been clarified. Even Mr. Trump next day had said that I have not negotiated the ceasefire. I just talked to Prime Minister Modi. He is a close friend of mine, and I have talked to Pakistan President. So it is very clear that the global leaders at that point of time did not want to escalate the India-Pakistan skirmishes and the fight, and therefore they were talking, and India was also talking to all the international leaders, whoever were calling. So where is the problem in this? Trump himself has clarified that I have not negotiated the deal. I have talked to them. Indian government has said there is no third party. It's the initiative for ceasefire was initiated by Pakistan DGMO, and we accepted it. So why can't opposition accept this? Why they are insisting what Trump is said once at one point of time? Whatever Trump may say, but when our Indian government is saying on such a sensitive issue, and on an issue where army has also clarified why they can't believe in our army. The foreign minister secretary has clarified it. All the armed forces have clarified it. The other persons have clarified it. Even Mr. Trump had once said that I have not negotiated. We are again and again saying that there is no third party role in
that's incorrect, sir. That's incorrect. President Trump has never said that he's never negotiated. Number one, the Indian Armed Forces, sir, 1 second, your time is up. The Indian Armed Forces have never come out and said that America hasn't negotiated. So it's not that the Indian Armed Forces has denied it. Neither has the President of America denied intervening. On the contrary, he has only reinstated the same point. So therefore, the larger question also, sir, 1 second, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you with that question, and maybe you can answer that question then, Mr. Agarwal, you'll have your time. But, please dwell on the question. The fact is you have delegations going abroad, and what are these delegations doing? They're actually going country to country, asking these countries to be neutral. That why are they neutral? They should take a stand. You're actually re-emphasizing something which is only glaring at the fact that there are not too many countries supporting us. I'll come back to that. But I want to bring in Ashutosh into this conversation. Ashutosh, but one needs to temper down. Look at the tone and tonality of what the opposition is asking. Yes, certain questions pertinent, but when we get down to semantics of how many planes were down, why can't you come out with it? Would you at least reckon and accept that these are not questions that need to be asked just yet?
But why, Preeti, these questions should not be asked? I just fail to understand. Why these questions should not be asked? Why we are creating a holy cow in this country? See, I've already referred to how the American Supreme Court has given orders on the Pentagon paper, and it said very categorically, even the press and even the citizens have a right to know what is happening on the front line. Now, see, if it is an open society, if there is a democratic society, then every question should be asked and every question should be answered. I can understand that the government doesn't want to speak in public, but government can always talk to the leader of opposition in private and say, this is what has happened. And the debate should have ended. No, but the government is not doing that. See, I think the foreign policy has majorly failed this country. Our foreign policy has majorly failed our army. And why I am saying so? In 2021, the Pakistan was under the grey list in the FATF. And in 2022, the Pakistan was away from that list. Now the government of India is again trying to convince people that Pakistan should be into the grey list of the FATF. Who will we answer the question? Why we have in the last 4 years we failed to convince the global powers and others that Pakistan is a failed state, Pakistan is sponsoring terrorism, Pakistan is killing innocent Indians, and this unless we have not done our homework sufficiently. If we had done our homework sufficiently, if we are aggressive enough, Pakistan would not have been out of the FATF grey list. Point number one. Point number two, IMF. Again, the same thing. Same thing happened. Pakistan got the $2.44 billion from the IMF, and we failed to understand. Now we are sending people to the different capital. I welcomed it, but the fact of the matter is, what are you going to tell them? Are you going to tell them the Pakistan is not doing this? That means still these people are not convinced about what India has been saying about the Pakistan. So issue is the foreign policy and the people sitting in the MEA needs to explain why this is happening and why they have failed.
Okay. Do we have Rajat Sethi? Okay, we don't have Rajat Sethi. He's not with us. I think there's a network problem there. But I'll bring you in, Mr. Gopal Agrawal, and I'll go back to Mahima Singh after that. But the larger question, Gopal Agrawal, today we've got delegations that are going country to country to try and convince these countries on why are they not taking a stand and why do they remain neutral. It is a larger question that somewhere down the line there must be some fault, at least in our diplomatic channels, that today, other than a Japan, a Taiwan and an Israel, we have no country that has openly come out and supported us.
Preeti, we have to understand that there is a marked difference in our policy with regard to foreign dealing with Pakistan. You see it after 26/11, what happened, what a reaction that the Congress had, and what action they take against terrorist attacks from Pakistan-sponsored places. What did they do? But now you see there is a big change in how we dealt with Pakistan terrorist activity. There is a big change. The India's position now is a remarkably different when it was earlier. Even in Kashmir, Article 370 has been removed. So we have taken certain strong actions that has changed certain issues at the global level and between our relation with Pakistan also. Our response, our terrorist attack, response to terrorist attack, our position vis-a-vis removal of Article 370, they have created some kind of different narratives and different policies. So the response is, our response is...
All right, so your time is up. I'll come back to you. Okay, now I think we finally do have Rajat Sethi with us. Rajat, you've become as elusive as what the Congress calls a befitting reply to President Trump. But I want to bring you in. And the question that I asked you on, what the Congress clearly deems should have been a stronger response to President Trump, and the larger question. We have delegation after delegation. It's interesting because none of those delegations have gone to any of our neighboring countries, emphasizing on the hostility of it all. And on the other hand, country after country where we're only trying to emphasize, why are you neutral? Why aren't you standing with us? That's quite counterproductive diplomatically, Rajat.
So I will recall what John F. Kennedy said. He clearly says that ask not what the country can do for you, ask what you can do for the country. And I think this, especially during the times of crisis, calls in for all of us to come in, chip in, and try and do whatever level best we can do in terms of ensuring that the narrative, whatever you're talking about in our immediate neighborhood or in the Western media, is addressed. I understand that a rise of India is in nobody's interest. We are all alone in this world. Especially the West has seen that China and the Chinese rise went on uncontrolled, and this is why all the focus will be on India to ensure that India's growth story remains scuttled, and there will be no outwardly support coming in from several alliance partners. Therefore, we have to look inwards, strengthen ourselves, ensure that if at all push comes to shove, we are ready to defend ourselves and our borders as much as we can. Having said that, if I were a Congress party, and I know there are 100 things that I will talk about BJP against, which didn't work out, but for a Congress party, the limited point that I have to say is that, see, Rahul Gandhi, if I were in his shoes, I would have potentially said that, okay, government has failed, let me be a bigger nationalist. Let me go out let me go to America. I have my connections there. I have my networks there. I will go and speak on behalf of my country and clear the air. My army has done a better job. Maybe my government hasn't done a good job. I'm going to fill in the gap and change the narrative. But look at what Congress party has done. Instead of taking up a more positive agenda, they have fallen into trap of this narrative battle, which is being unleashed by the Congress, by the Pakistan and the Pakistani media. Why would you want to give this as an alternative to before the Indian masses? You could have come up with a very, very positive approach. Therefore, I agree with you. Our neighborhood policy requires a reset button. A lot of things have changed. I mean, Preeti, I'll just add one more thing. For example, TikTok. It is blocked in India, but it is not blocked in the other South Asian countries. There is this rising tide of nationalism or fraternity that we are seeing between the Nepalis and the Pakistanis and the Bangladeshis. So
Okay.
these are newer dynamics which we will have
Fair
to prepare
point.
ourselves. And
Fair
I don't
point.
think
And
we
maybe,
should, put our head in the sand and hope that this penguin effect will ensure that the
and
storm
fair
is
point,
going to pass by.
maybe, reinstate our relationship with our neighboring nations, because I would think in the history of India, this is one of the worst ties that we've had with our neighbors. I'd like to bring in, 1 minute, Mahima Singh, final comments, ma'am, 1 minute.
Preeti, it is very interesting. And you see how you understand BJP's and Mr. Modi's double face. Yesterday, while delivering that speech in Bikaner, he said, no trade with Pakistan. All right. China came out and said upfront that they support Pakistan unconditionally. Why are we conducting lakhs of crores of trade with China? Why do you not put a stop on that? Because by supporting China, was this really about Pakistan and India and about the neighboring countries' foreign policy? Bangladesh happens and Modi government has no clue. Sheikh Hasina finally asks for refuge and lands in our country. So we have seen what Modi government has done to our foreign policy, especially with our neighboring countries in the past few years. We have seen, a whole...
Okay, we're running out of time. I'm going to take 9 seconds off your time. I want to give it to Gopal Krishna Agrawal. Sorry, ma'am, I'm running out of time. I wouldn't ever come in like that. Mr. Agrawal, you have 50 seconds, sir. Go ahead.
I want to tell that when you rise in the global leadership ladder, you have several challenges. Congress policy was surrender and then buy peace. Our policy is to watch our national interest and fight to the utmost interest of protect the interest of the country, and we have taken strong decisions.
I have a right to rebut your Preeti,
We have a
please.
strong
Ma'am, I don't have the time. You got your 1 minute.
He has
Okay.
spoken
Yeah,
enough.
we have taken strong
No,
decisions.
ma'am. 1 second. Everyone's got equal time. Let's not get there. I just want to bring in 50 seconds to Ashutosh. Go ahead, sir. Make your point.
See, Preeti, I just fail to understand that why our co-panelist is saying India is all alone. Why? I think in the last 10 years, we are made to believe that India is a 140 crore big economic market. We were told that Mr. Narendra Modi is the tallest leader this country has ever produced, and every leader in the world is his friend. And we were very aggressive about it.
Okay.
Then what the foreign ministry was doing?
Okay.
The foreign ministry job is to get friends. We need a new foreign minister, not this one, who has spoken
Okay,
at
sir.
every minute.
All right, sir. 40 seconds. Rajat, make your point, please.
Well, I think essentially what needs to be said is, let's ignore Trump. Let's keep that topic aside. Let's refocus on what our strengths are as a country. And I believe everybody has to chime in. Today, there is a multi-party delegations which have gone out across the world. Let us present a best case forward.
Okay.
Let them engage with these stakeholders around the world and see what
All
comes
right.
out
Okay,
of it.
I'm going to
Let's
come in.
not
I'm
be so full of despair.
Terribly run out of time in this debate. We wish we had you earlier, but that's that. I let it be. But like I said yesterday, it's going to be something that's going to continue and on so through the course of many days to come. And it is one such debate that we had today. Well, the standoff continues. Questions continues to come from the opposition, the Congress, and till now at least, the government and the BJP stand is that this is Congress playing into Pakistan agenda. On the other hand, is the Congress just being responsible, asking questions that an opposition should? You decide out there, our viewers.